that's kind of the thought process.
Right.
And,
Yeah, have you met? I know it's on the other side.
Gibbons. Number 8, David Richards. Number 9, Cameron Oliver. Number 10, Sheridan Smith. Number 16, Trey Paluchek. Number 28, Jordan Andrews. Number 35, Caleb Kuhn. And now for the Crusaders of St. Dominic High School. They come into today's game with a record of 17, 10, and 2. The Crusaders are coached by Greg Keller, assisted by Jeff Menke and Andrew Strutman. The starters are the Crusaders. Number 2, Charles Weston. Number 3, Luke Hollinshed. Number 5, Max Sengel. Number 7, Connor Flynn. Number 9, Brandon Sadel. Number 10, William Faraday. Number 15, Matthew Hennessy. Number 17, Colin Crun. Number 19, Jack Stoll. Number 21, Andrew Lookenhouse. And goalkeeper, Brennan Witt. The officials for today's game are referee Tim Walsh. Line judges are Ken Bartkowski and Bill Scott. Our fourth official is Todd Panula. These officials were selected to work this event due to their outstanding work and commitment during the season. Join the Missouri State High School Activities Association in honoring these hardworking officials for this contest.
Go down and tell Coach we're ready to go.
And now, let the game begin!
And we want to thank Jim Gramad for bringing us all the participants in this action here this afternoon. Once again, this is the Missouri State Boys Class 3 Soccer Championships here in the 48th annual edition. We are back here at the Worldwide Technology Stadium at the Soccer Park in Fenton, Missouri, and we've got a good one on tap for you. It is the defending state title holder, the Webster Grove Statesmen, 23-5-2. They are coached by Tim Cashel, and they get ready to take on the St. Dominic Crusaders, 16-10-2. Or 17-10-2, coached by Greg Keller. My name is Matt Judkins, and let me bring in my partner for this afternoon's action, the legendary coach Terry Mickler. And Coach, this is shaping up to really be one of the better state title matches that we've seen over the years here, the last several contests that you and I have been broadcasting together on, as well as you playing in. This is two teams pretty evenly matched and a lot of storylines.
Oh, you're right, Matt. Storylines galore. You've got last year's champion and the champion before that. You've got Webster with the experience and St. Dominic with 10 losses coming into this final game. So there's no pressure on St. Dominic's. I mean, being in this game is very, very rewarding and satisfying for them. But they want more. They want one game more. So all to play for, and I think we're going to see a cracker of a game today.
We should. St. Dominic will start with the ball now. They are the road designated team. They're in their navy blue strip there with the white and light blue numerals. Webster Groves, and they're all white with the orange numerals, so a little bit of a different kit for them here this afternoon as St. Dominic gets set to go. We are underway now in the Class 3 state title match here, and this should be a really good one. One note right off the top that we noticed from the PA announcer is that there will be a different goalkeeper between the sticks here today. Brennan Witt is in there, the sophomore. He subs Colin Baker, who started the match yesterday, and St. Dominic has kind of gone with that goalie rotation throughout the season, Coach.
Yeah, they've got three, I think, that they use, and Coach Keller goes kind of a game-by-game and a gut feel in terms of who he's going to play.
This one headed all the way back to the box, and he'll get his first touch, will that goalkeeper, Brennan Witt, as he rolls it out on the far side. We've Got a number of storylines like we talked about at the top. One of the big ones right off the bat is the number 11 shirt for Webster Groves. He went down with an injury. That was Mitchell Paulson yesterday. He plays out here on the right side back, and he is being subbed in the starting lineup by John Binder. So he'll be out here. That's the number 5 for Webster Groves. You'll notice that change in the lineup. We'll get you the rest of the starters in just a moment where they're positioned out on the field, but we'll see how that plays out, Coach. And there's a number of other things that you and I talked about prior to the match that we expect to see here this afternoon as well.
Well, you've got biggest goal scorers on both sides. Webster with Sheridan Smith and St. Dominic with Jack Stoll. So it's going to be a matchup between those two for sure in terms of who can get to the net. And there's another number of other matchups we'll get to throughout the day, but that's first and foremost, I think, right there.
This one into the box as they try to get it to Smith. Smith had the hat trick yesterday in that semifinal match to put Webster in the position to win the state title for the second year in a row. And an interesting storyline just about that fact, Coach. Webster trying to become the first public school, any classification in the state of Missouri, to win a state title match back-to-back.
That's a lot to play for. There's a lot of history in the state championship games here now. For no one to have done it and for them to have a chance, that's a lot to play for. It's a lot on their plate.
We had an offside call. The side referee's been holding up his flag for a number of minutes. The referee finally recognizes it, pulls it back as Webster retained and had possession, and they will restart it here. Well, St. Dominic, and not only is Webster Groves the only school with the if they achieve that, be the first one to do it. It's only been a possibility one other time, and that was actually last weekend when Perryville made it to the championship match after winning last year. They did not complete the double, and so Webster trying to make history here on a number of levels after getting that first state title in school history last year in their first appearance. St. Dominic, of course, Coach, they are here year in and year out.
And you're talking 48 years, Matt. This is the 48th state championship tournament sponsored by Misha, so that would be quite an achievement for Webster.
This one out of play on the far side. There are some weapons in the lineups for these two teams. They can bring some players forward and launch a long throw, and they'll go short here on that far side. Will the Crusaders, now it's into the box, headed away, but not all the way out. We'll see one of the factors, too, that may happen this afternoon. Let's talk a little bit about the weather here. We're about 65 degrees here at kickoff. Just before 2:30 p.m. Central Time, but there's a breeze blowing out of the south, and that's an odd breeze for this field, Coach. It usually doesn't come out of the south. Usually comes out of the north or the west, but those flags, pretty good pace, not quite what they were yesterday, but it's coming in the opposite direction.
Completely, totally different. The flags are 180 degrees different today. It's going pretty much down the field from goal to goal, from the scoreboard to the opposite end, so we'll see if it has any effect, but it seems like a mild breeze, not really a wind today.
So it will be from right to left on the computer screen. The other factor, too, is the sun. As the sun sets behind the viewpoint that you've got, it could go into the goalkeeper's eyes to the left part of your screen. Right now that would be the Webster girls keeper, William Sprick, especially as the ball comes from about midfield in to about the 18-yard box from the left side. So let's see if that's a factor at all. We've got a great crowd on hand. The grandstand in front of us here on the near side is completely packed, and you can see the big crowd on the far side. Student body for each of these two teams. They have come and traveled well. St. Dominic, roughly about 40 to 45 minutes or so from the Worldwide Technology Stadium. And, of course, this is almost a home game for Webster Groves. They are just down Highway 44, about 5 miles. So great crowd on hand, a lot of orange, a lot of blue, and we expect them to be rallying the troops throughout the match as well. Here's an opportunity for St. Dominic. Good block, but they'll get it right back on the near side here into the box. They'll throw it at the goal. Sprick right there. And good attempt that time for St. Dominic. They're pushing things forward here a little bit, Coach. See if they can unlock one early.
Well, I think the first goal is critical. I mean, historically, first goals hold up more often than not. And in big games, many big championship games are decided with a scoreline of 1-0. So if you get that goal, you're at least in a chance to win the game. So we'll see if anybody's going to get the first one.
Battle for the ball on the far side, and this is Andrews. Andrews breaks past one defender. He's got a couple of them on him now, and that ball will carry him out of play on that far side. Throwing for Webster Groves. Let's talk a little bit about Webster Groves. Again, Sheridan Smith is their lead man. He scored the hat trick all in the first half yesterday to propel them to the victory. Very tough to beat a team if they score 3 goals. He got all 3 of them, and he will be flanked by Jordan Andrews and now John Binder, the number 5 shirt, Cameron Oliver in the middle, along with John Connolly and a third removed midfielder, the number 3 shirt, Michael Hanrahan. Those are all 3 very good players who can all possess the ball. Across the back, it'll be Tilford, Kuhn, the big man in the middle, along with Palauchuk and then Richards. So good lineup now for Webster Groves, and We talked a little bit, Coach, about Kuhn. He is a big presence in the middle of the field for them along that back line.
Well, it's another interesting storyline because you got Kuhn 6'4" and you got Stoll 6'3" in the St. Dominic attack. So air balls really is going to be kind of neutralized. Stoll's going to fight to win his share, and Kuhn's going to go get his share. So that might not be a factor in the game because they might just nix each other out.
And we'll see how that plays out. You mentioned the big forward for St. Dominic, and that is Stoll, and we'll see how he plays out. Jack Stoll wears the number 19 shirt. He came into the Final Four with 28 goals, and he will be someone to be reckoned with here in this match for Webster Groves. Yesterday, he also played a big role in it. He did have a goal and a couple of shots on net, so we'll see how Webster Groves wants to try and contain him as they dribble into the offensive end. That's Hanrahan will lay it off to the left side, into the box. Now this one floating far side. Andrews can come across. It's headed away, albeit briefly. St. Dominic can't quite clear it out. This is Hollingshead on the near side. Finally does get it out back towards midfield, but Webster Groves has stepped forward now as they bring that back line fully into the St. Dominic end of the field.
Matt, I think for me the big difference in the game today is going to be the midfield. Who controls the midfield? Because the midfield takes the game forward.
Here's a run now into the box. This one right up over the top. That is Faraday. Faraday had 2 goals in the match. He's the other fellow front runner with Stoll. The other goal came from Colin Trun. He wears a 17 shirt. In that lineup for St. Dominic, it is Stoll and Faraday up front. They were 19 and 10 respectively. And then in the midfield will be Sengel, Saddle, Trun, the 17 shirt, and Luke Hollingshead along the back line.
Boy, Trun was a handful yesterday. I was very impressed with his game yesterday. The quality of the shots that he took on goal. He got a goal, but was threatening a couple other times with some good shots.
Along that back line, you will have the number 21 shirt, Lukenhaus, along with Weston, Hennessy big in the middle, and then Connor Flynn on the outside. So those are the starting lineups for both of these squads. And don't expect an overload of substitutions. Both these teams, one kind of going away, but they did not sub out a ton of players. There'll be a few that get into the mix now. Here's a shot from way out. It'll go across the goal box and ride out of play for a goal kick for St. Dominic.
You know, the midfield makeup of Webster, builds around their key players, numbers 3 and 4. Hanrahan and Conley, they're experienced veteran leaders. The more pressure Dominic can put on, that'll kind of keep Hanrahan in check. He's playing a little bit in front of the back 4. If he's free to get up into midfield and generate attack, they can be extremely dangerous.
I tell you what's dangerous right now is that glare of the sun on those orange numbers on the back of the Webster Groves jerseys. Luckily, we've seen them a couple of times, Coach, and we can almost tell players by their movements and their physique because those orange numbers on the white jersey. Yeah. Not easy for my eyesight to see. So.
And the little shaded blue on the top of the Dominic jersey on their
makes
number.
It a little tough,
Yeah.
The decorating of the modern uniform. There's a young coach that used to be over at CBC that said it's a creative expression. Back in the day, I can remember some of the kits that you guys wore were a little more non-traditional, if you will, and these are just numbers, but
right.
It's creative expression, and we see some now as they get into the box. They'll throw this one across. Andrews was lurking, and they get it out of there, does the St. Dominic defense, but albeit briefly. This one now shot on goal, and Witt is right there to knock it over the top of the bar, but he took that one well, and Webster Groves with the first real true opportunity, and they'll get the first corner kick here in the first half.
And that started with a little spill from the keeper there. Witt had a ball he should have brought in and smothered and covered. He spilled it, it got cleared but not out, and then it came back in on a direct shot, threatening shot, and Witt was able to get a fist to put it over the bar for a corner kick.
And that's who they're going to bring forward now. Webster Groves goes Kuhn will come into the backside of the box. You see that big physical presence standing there for Webster Groves. He wears that 35 shirt. They float this one, 6-yard box keeper off of his line.
Well, if Stoll's 6'3", and Kuhn's 6'4", they matched up in there, and Kuhn had a noticeable advantage over Stoll. So we'll see how that plays out. But it wasn't that they were eyeball to eyeball with each other. Kuhn had a definite size advantage.
And as they do these heights and weights, they always do them at the beginning of the season. A kid can grow a lot in 3 months. So still, these young men are still developing. They're not at the age where they've really stopped growing height-wise. So you can see a kid grow a foot in an entire year in high school. So he may be a little bit over that 6'4" frame, and nonetheless, we'll see if that plays out here. One thing that may not be advantageous to Webster is having Paulson out of the lineup. They like to bring him up. He goes 6 foot, bring him up into the box as well.
Well, yesterday, in the game that they pretty much comfortably won, they were up 3 goals at halftime and really didn't sub much throughout the game. So when you have a change in your lineup and you're not subbing much in a game that you got comfortably put away, kind of says something about how strong they are in their first team. So you have to make a change in that. We'll see how that plays out.
A long throw, and they try to target it to Stoll that time. He's unable to get on the end of it. St. Dominic now will have possession. One of the other things you mentioned earlier as well, Coach, is that midfield play. And let's see who really dominates that kind of third of the field, both offensive from the offensive and defensive end of things. Now we're going to get a foul on that far side. And
well, for me, in their key matchup is going to be the St. Dominic number 9 player, Brandon Saddle. As a defensive midfielder for Dominic's, and then the attacking expertise of Conley, number 4 for Webster, John Conley. So that's going to be a battle worth watching this whole game, and whoever can come out on top of that one, I think will have a positive effect on the result for their team.
Worth mentioning as well that Mr. Saddle, his father, is a former player of yours, Coach, and one that you think very fondly of, the way he played the game and what he brought to the pitch here, game in and game out, and over the years was he played for you.
Yeah, Jamie was in teams with me in the mid-'80s. Still holds the scoring record at CBC for 27 goals in a single season.
Left side now, St. Dominic, they'll bring it out here. This is Stoll. He'll put the ball on his left foot at the corner flag. One defender on him, good defense now. He nearly beats him, unable to do so, and Webster Groves is going to clear that one out. It'll be a throw-in for St. Dominic. Coming across that time to make the play was Oliver, and so they had 2 on that time, and also in the area was Palauchek. So
we're about 12 minutes into the game, and it's been pretty evenly played so far. Both teams have had the fair share of ball possession and attacking time in the attack zone. So it's going to be an end-to-end game. Both teams have a lot in their tank. They got quality in their team, and they've got a lot to play for. So, and they both have the ability to raise their level and to play high and win this game. So.
Yeah, this is interesting, Coach. Go ahead.
We're in for a good one. We're in for a good one.
It's interesting on the side of St. Dominic that they've got the ability to get it into the box with the throwing, but they've been taking short throws in the attacking end of the field, so maybe trying to draw that Webster defense out a little bit and almost lure them into backing off and seeing if maybe then they can unlock one later in the match.
Absolutely, that's always kind of a key, is to draw them where you don't want them to, where they don't want to go. Draw them where they don't want to go.
Switch of the fields now. Andrews full on, but the goalkeeper comes out and Witt just knocks it out of play over this near side. But that was a nifty little play as Smith played the square ball all the way down the side as well. And now here comes Webster Groves. This is Oliver. He'll lay it off, get it back into the box, knocked away briefly. Who's going to track this one down? It'll be Trun. He can't get it out of there. It's deflected. It'll go out of play on that far side near the Webster Groves bench, and it will go to St. Dominic, referee right there. 26 minutes remaining now. Matt Judkins along with Terry Micklers, we bring you this Class 3 state title match. Last year, Webster Groves captured the Class 3 championship trophy in the first year of 4 classifications in the state of Missouri. The year before that, St. Dominic undefeated and untied as they won Class 2. So really the last 2 state champions in this one. And this is shaping up again to be quite a good match. And both 2 great coaches on either side of midfield, coaching those benches on the far side. And they've really developed programs that now you can expect not just to be here 1 year and done, but Webster back for the 2nd year in a row trying to defend, and St. Dominic, they're looking for yet another title here in school history.
Right. Coach Cashel, Tim Cashel at Webster's been patient, put together a good team over time. He's built a program is what he's done, which is really credit to him. And Coach Keller at St. Dominic's has been there quite a while and has had just more than his fair share of success. So they're no strangers to this game in this moment, so they'll handle it well.
St. Dominic looking for that 6th title as Webster Groves now goes back up over the top. Defense right there. And both these defenses, Coach, they stay very organized. They've all played together, so they know what their fellow colleagues are going to do on either side of the box. And they play well together almost instinctively at this point in the game. Probably always going to be some talking and communicating out there, but they can communicate instinctively instead of having to articulated out there on the pitch all the time.
Well, that last run by Webster was dangerous because that was hand-ran coming out of a deep midfield position. It took a deep, penetrating run.
Here's Stoll with a chance now, top of the box to get the shot off. He does, and it goes wide of the target, and he's a little beside himself as he puts his head in his hands. He knew he had the opportunity there to unlock it and put the first one in the net. He had just a little bit of crease. The two defenders ran into each other there in the middle of the field, Coach, and that left Stoll. He's not going to miss too many of those.
No, you just got to kind of get yourself composed, and you got to know that that's a key moment, and you just got to be relaxed and do the business. Games like this, man, more often than not, you see that the storylines kind of balance each other out, and it's somebody that's maybe not so much on the front page, so to speak, that comes up at the right place at the right time and makes the difference. So anybody on the field for either team could be the difference maker, and that's for sure. I mean, you look for the key guys, but that's not all. That's the entire story.
St. Dominic with a number of players back into the box now as Webster attacks. I'll throw this one across. Out of there, but not all the way. This one on goal. Goalkeeper right there as Witt stands tall right on his goal line. Brings this one out, has his players take their time. They're going to go back to midfield as we are just about 17 minutes into this match. Still 0-0. It's shaping up to be a real good one. And when you look at this one on paper, over the years we have analyzed these, and you can make all your predictions and think about what can happen. But this is a good one as it's pretty evenly matched.
Coach Keller had 4 goalies to choose from. He had 2 sophomores and 2 juniors. So at this point in the year, probably not much difference between them all because they've all played probably an equal amount during the year. So you throw out the fact that he's a sophomore, he's in the goal. It's his job today, and he's got to find a way to do a good job with it.
Yeah, Webster not without goalkeeping pedigree on their own right as well, Coach, as their backup goalkeeper has played about half of the season as well, Gomez, and he's a little shaken up, not in the lineup today. Sprick gets the start as he did yesterday, but Gomez comes from a nice lineage of goalkeepers.
He sure does. His brother Tomas was an outstanding player at Webster. And I say player, not goalkeeper, because he was also could double up as a field player and be very effective. He had a college career, good, successful one at Georgetown, and currently is in MLS with San Jose. So, great pedigree there.
This one down the line now here as Smith tried to do a spin turn on the near side, couldn't quite do it. Up over the top, headed away that time by Palauchek, and here come the Statesmen, knocked off the ball, and it will go the other way. St. Dominic will slow it down here just a little bit. And now we'll get our first substitution into the match, and that'll come on the side of St. Dominic, but don't expect a ton of them. Coming out for them will be Flynn, as he jogs off with a nice round of applause and coming all the way over to take the throw in now for the Crusaders. Will be the number 13 shirt, Grabenhorst. He got a lot of action yesterday, just a freshman, 5'7", maybe a little taller than that right now as well, Coach, but we saw him in and out of the lineup throughout the day yesterday. He was their first go-to guy off the bench. We'll get a foul now as Stoll brings Richards down.
You know, Dominic's has a pretty balanced roster. They've got 8 seniors, 5 juniors, 6 sophomores, 3 freshmen. So, you know, they've got, what do they got here, 14 underclassmen in this roster.
Halfway through half number 1, and we are still not at a 0-0. As Webster Groves tries to get in to the middle of the pitch. They are going to press hard and high. This one by Grabenhorst back towards midfield. They try to get at the Faraday. Not much room there, and here come the Statesmen once again.
Kind of interesting, Matt. One of the storylines we thought would be the midfield, and both teams are bypassing the midfield with long balls, and they're going direct from back to front, which means that there really is a lot of space in the midfield once they choose to use it. But so far, they've kind of been bypassing it.
And that shot goes wide, as Coach just talked about. They took one from way out. Now as we wind towards 20 minutes remaining, but let me pass along a word to you folks here. You're watching live coverage of the Misha Boys Soccer Championships on the NFHS Network, NFHSnetwork.com/association/Misha is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of Missouri State High School Activities Association Championship action. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all there. NFHSnetwork.com/associations/Misha. The ball goes out of play on that far side. It'll be a throw-in now. Fans hollered about it. They wanted to foul in the middle of the pitch. We've got a player down now. And
this game, like all games, Matt, from a coaching point of view to the players, sure there's a rule book, but there's also a whistle. and the whistle becomes the rule book when you're playing these games. So whatever is written in the book, only if the whistle blows does it really matter on this day. So you have to play to the whistle, not necessarily to the rule book. So if the referee's going to allow certain things to go on, that's fine. As long as he's doing it both ways and it's consistent, that's all you want.
Stoll got that one into the box, comes right back out. Here's a flick in, and Sprick off his line. He'll grab that one now with 19 remaining here in this first half. Been pretty well played first half, pretty clean first half. Really no stoppages in action, just the one substitution. And
it's been back and forth. You know, I mean, both teams have had their time in the attacking zone. There's a jump in from behind.
Jump in from behind. This is a dangerous position now for the Webster Grove Statesmen. They like to utilize these restarts, and they've got players who can do some things with the ball when they stand over them for a free kick. So let's see what they want to do now. They're going to send 4 to the opposite side of the box. This one lined up just near the center circle. It's launched into the box. A couple players there up over the top of the bar. They had 3 players right there, right in the mix, Coach, and defense really didn't rise up to try and get that one.
No, that was, they call that a free header in the game. I mean, that was there for the taking from the Webster players. And who was that number? I'm trying to see.
Let that one go by the wayside to the Statesmen, as they got a substitution into the match here just a moment ago. We'll get that number for you here as we move along. Ball goes out on the far side. St. Dominic trying to get it into the offensive end. They're unable to do so right in front of the bench. A little step over move now. Here come the Statesmen. Trying to get to the end line. They'll win that corner kick on the far side.
That's the second corner, I believe.
Second one here this half, and let's see who they're going to bring forward. Here comes Kuhn. Here comes Palauchek. Here comes Sheridan Smith. They're bringing the horses, Coach, and St. Dominic's going to have to man mark here. They had a good opportunity earlier, and they'll put 6 in the box now. This is a long, lofting kick. Swings back in towards the 6-yard box, headed away briefly. Anyone going to check it down? They do. That's Conley. Back out to the outside. Right-footed cross in towards the goal. Somebody's on the backside. He can't quite get it. That time it was Palauchek. Still battling. Top of the box. There's a shot low along the turf, and the goalkeeper doesn't give up the rebound, and now we get a little bit in the mix here. A little bit in the mix. That was Kuhn coming through that time. No, it wasn't Kuhn.
That was ever so slight of spill. The goalie was able to recover it, but there was enough of the ball showing there. It could have been poked in.
Unable to get it, though, that time. Now I'll just put it down and restart. That was Palauchek coming through that time. Both those center backs for Webster Groves, awfully big. They both wear those bright blue shoes. And now it's forward on the far side. Here's Stoll, and that was Kuhn going to the turf to knock that one down. Wasn't going to let anything by him on the turf. Pretty dangerous, though. If Stoll gets past it, he's got the quickness now. If he were able to flick that just up over the top, he's away and in on goal. So you got to measure that one just precisely if you're going to go to the turf like that.
Well, it's good to see a big guy go down and defend low. That's quite a challenge for that big guy.
This one rides out over the end line. Goal kick now with just under 16 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 our score. We hope you've enjoyed it thus far. One of the bigger crowds we've seen for a state title match in quite some time, Coach. Big crowd. I mean, the entire grandstand here on this near side. You'll see this for the FC games, but for high school soccer, you don't get quite this crowd. And then nice-sized crowd over on the other side with the students supporting their teams.
Yeah, credit both schools. But yesterday we saw Webster at noon with a big crowd, but we knew the kids were probably out of school to do it. But today's a day off, Saturday, and they're here. They're back again. So, and as we talked yesterday off air, there's a strong sense of community, in Webster. So, and they won last year out of town. They had to go to Kansas City, Blue Springs, to win it. So this is the first chance that any other people have had to really come home, so to speak, and watch the game.
Thank you. A foul on the play now. Webster Groves will backtrack into their own defensive end. St. Dominic will take this one and they'll launch a long one towards the 18-yard box, headed away. No one able to get on the end of it for St. Dominic. Here's Webster Groves and Givens. Givens playing out there on that left side. Long ball now as they try to get it to Smith. He's one-on-one with the defender now. Hennessy gets it to the top of the box. He'll play one across, a little bit of an open space, and it's just tipped away at the last moment. I believe that was Oliver coming forward that time, Coach.
That was
knocked
crucial
away.
because that ball was arriving. The ball and the player were arriving at the same spot on time. So that player was able to time his run and ready to crank one.
Webster Groves will get a substitution in as Andrews is going to check out of the ball game, Givens will check out. Battle over on this near side goes out of play and stays with Webster Groves. Short throwing now. Nifty little play. This is Oliver into the box. Throws it across. Right there. Goal, Webster Groves. The Statesmen jump out on top. The Webster Groves Statesmen jump out on top early in this one. 13:57 remaining, and they get the opening tally, and they're on top 1-0.
And there you have it. Great inline play. Ball came across. First Webster guy wasn't there on time. Got to the back door, and it was answered.
It was answered, and he made no mistake about it on that backside. It was Smith again, I believe, Coach, who got that one. It happened in a bang-bang play, and, of course, those. We'll get the verification on that one. The Webster fans, on this near side, up with the flags.
That's 4 goals out of 4 for him over the last 2 days. That's what big-time players do. Okay, so he's got the game moving now. Now we'll see how it goes from here.
Cashel subbed in now. He's in there for Webster Groves. We'll get probably a foul here. We do get the foul. Referee right on top of that one, and very dangerous now on a restart for St. Dominic. They were hoping for a yellow card. They're not going to get it on that one, but 1-0 here as Webster Groves has gone out on top over St. Dominic, and they're looking to defend that title once again.
The one thing you'd think, though, is, you want to know where that number 10 in the white shirt is all the time. He's a big-time proven scorer, and he kind of walked in on the back post and had a freebie there.
Well, Coach, if yesterday is any indication, there will not be just 1 goal scored in the match. Here's Stoll, top of the box, one-on-one with the defender. Can't get past him, but he'll play it out here on the near side. Went right past the referee who had the defender screened slightly, but Webster Groves gets it out there far enough to keep it away from danger. Battle for the ball. And it'll go the way of St. Dominic. Webster Groves fans a little bit upset about that one. They wanted the free kick. Now they'll come to this near side, but that one just goes awry. Not the best retake by St. Dominic. And
they kind of hurriedly put that in play and kind of wasted it.
Yeah, wasn't a real good pass. Probably would like to have that one back, as they say. See if they can't get the restart.
12 minutes to go to half. See if this 1 goal holds up.
Far side now. Webster Groves booms it out of their own end. Back line of St. Dominic heads it away. But Webster still pushing forward now. Pinching him in a little bit. This one hops up over the top. That was Palauchek. He couldn't get on the end of it, and they're going to try and get it down the line here. Full stretch this time on this near side for Hollingshead. He can't quite catch up with it, and Webster Groves will take the throw in and bring it in quickly. This is Oliver. Ball at his feet, beats one defender. Still with the ball at his feet, will play it to the middle. This is where Webster can be dangerous. Connolly goes to the far side as they try to switch it. Can't get anybody on the end of it, so St. Dominic will briefly take possession, but they quickly give it away to Hanrahan.
Let's see if that goal will help Webster maybe settle into a little bit more of a possession game. They don't have the urgency. Dominic's has the urgency right now.
Good tackle there in the middle of the pitch. Referee says play on. The player went down, but it was a nice clean pick. So here comes Webster Groves on the counterattack. They're going to play some numbers forward. 4 in the box now as one man pulls back out. They throw it to the 6-yard. A Witt off his line. He's right there. He's going to quickly distribute out here to Hollingshead.
Seems that Webster has a penchant to counterattack down the left side. Most of their playouts have come to the left side.
St. Dominic now with a little bit of possession. They'll go the other way with it. That was Single. Up over the top. They try to get it to Faraday. He's front running. Sprick, the keeper, off his line. He gathers that one up easily. And he's going to take his time now and just kind of nurse that lead a little bit with about 10.5 minutes remaining and his squad up 1-0.
Still a lot to play for. A lot of time left in the game. Both teams are experienced in close games. We'll see how it plays out.
battling for the ball, still up in the air. Trun undercuts that time. He's going to be called for the foul. Connolly was right there with him, and so Webster Groves will win the free kick in the center circle now with about 10 minutes remaining here in this first half, and they've got a 1-0 lead. Each team going to battle for more. There's no doubt about it. I suspect 2 goals at least is going to take to win this one.
Well, Dominic's got to come back and get one, and you're right. We've got to get that one from Dominic's.
2 players to the turf. Free kick now for the Webster Grove Statesmen, right in front of their own bench, right in front of their own student body.
And with Sheridan Smith getting his 4th goal in 2 days out of 4 goals, he might not be done either. So we got to make sure, we got to give him that opportunity that he could still open up another lead, 2-goal lead.
Kuhn near the 12-yard spot. Paulson's in there too. He's got good size. Witt off his line right in front of Smith. Smith stood his ground. And now Witt's going to have everybody move back towards midfield. Brendan Witt, the sophomore goalkeeper, 6 foot, over 700 minutes on the season. He had 5 shutouts, which was most on the squad of the kind of 4 goalkeeper rotation. So he's no stranger to this one. Stoll now, right side of the box, one-on-one with the defender, puts one across the box. Player lurking, that's Hollingshead. It doesn't quite get to him. Good interception, good retreat by the Webster defense to come back and mark up. Other way now, here's Trun. He'll go out the other side, try to get at the Stoll. Stoll had 3 defenders on him. It's intercepted, and Webster wants to go the other way quickly.
Back on the left side again. It's the last 2 playouts. Both went to left side for Webster.
Coach, talk a little bit about that strategy. If you see something where you might have a strength and the other team may not be quite as strong, how much do you put that into a game plan, or do you say, let's go out and just play our game the way we usually do, and if we do that, we'll be able to come out on top?
Well, I think you always want to match strength against weakness when you can, especially if you've got obvious ones. So apparently maybe in the scouting, Webster saw something that they said, you know what, we could take advantage of our left side, so let's see if we can do it. Because although the goal came from the right side, but most all the playouts are going to the left.
Long throw-in now for the Crusaders as they try to attack into the Webster Groves end. Inside 8 minutes remaining, out of play on that far side, right near the St. Dominic bench, and it will go over to the Webster Grove Statesmen.
You look over at that bench at St. Dominic's, they've all got their hands over their eyes, so that sun's starting to be a little bit of a factor.
And so that will not be an advantage for them in the second half. Let's see if they don't try and utilize it, try and come over to this near side. But there hasn't been a lot of play on this near side on either side, Coach, for either team trying to attack.
No, you're right, because Dominic's have been going to their right side, so the whole game's been on the other side of the field from us.
This one knocked out of there. Nice play here to settle it down. That was Richards, and he'll come to the middle of the park. He'll go all the way over to the other side. They're going to kind of reload the offense.
And there you go. The play started on the right side and then directly went to the left side.
Smith now try to get into the box, get past the defender. He wanted a handball. Referee said play on, and now Crusaders back towards midfield. Verity can't get on any of it. Here's Hollingshead. He's pushed in the back. Free kick now. Good position now. And this is about the position in the field maybe. Maybe you need to be a little bit further over towards the sideline where can have an impact with the sun. But you see the goalkeeper, Sprick. You can't see him in your picture there, folks, but he is heavily shading his eyes. So let's see if St. Dominic doesn't try and take advantage of this.
Yeah, you want to hang one straight up in that. Nice ball in.
Weston does just that. This one into the box. Goes off the head, but here's Hollingshead. He'll pop one up to the top of the box. Webster Groves has 3 defenders there. They get it out, but not all the way. This one caroms here into this near side of the box. Hollingshead now tries to beat the defender. Good defense on this near side, and Webster Groves now with a little bit of space. They're going to take their time and push it all the way up. Here's Andrews. Front running, a deflection of the ball. It'll stay with the Webster Grove Statesmen. So good poised defense by the Statesmen that time to get it out of there. St. Dominic's dangerous for the moment, but that sun did play a factor in it, Coach.
Yeah, Webster's got a lot of experience in their back line. It's going to take something kind of special to beat him.
You are standing near or by or on or in the proximity of a sign that says...
Throw in now here on this near side, and that'll be Oliver for the Statesmen. He's waiting until all the substitutions are taken care of. As Jordan Andrews went off now. Here's Smith back to the goal. He gets it right back. Let's see if he doesn't take the defender on. Nope, decides not to. We'll lay it back off. Hanrahan, middle of the park. Still Webster Groves with a little bit of possession. This is what you talked about, Coach, to see if they don't settle in and play some of this possession.
Yeah, it's taken 35 minutes to get to this point, but I think that's how they should continue.
Here's Oliver with a little bit of through ball opportunity for Webster Groves. Back into the box. Here's a deflection. It's going to carry him. They keep it from going out to save on the corner kick, but it put it right back in the middle of the park. Webster Groves still with possession and very dangerous. Near side, they're going to try and get it to Smith in the box. Defender knocks it away. Not all the way out of it, though. Here come the Statesmen again. They are relentless with their pressure, Coach. And
well, it all started with a nice patient build-up in the midfield, and then they started, and they found a slot to play it into.
we'll get a foul now, and referee says handball. It'll go over to St. Dominic with just under 4.5 minutes remaining, and opportunity for them now to see if they can't get on the end of one. And let's see if they don't try and utilize that sun out here on the near side.
Yeah, they might as well try while they got it, right? It's going to be in their eyes the next half, so it's only going to get worse as the rest of this game goes on.
So they'll stand over it now and take their time. Long ball towards the box. Let's see if they can't get a flick. It goes into the box, over the top of everybody. It's in the back of the goal. In the back of the goal. St. Dominic scores. Did anybody touch it?
A lot of indecision there, wasn't
Well, they're going to run it away as if he's got the goal. That time was Connor Flynn, and he jumps into his bench. 3:59 remaining, and he knots this one at one apiece. So Connor Flynn, I believe the number 7 shirt, is the one that got on the end of that one.
Well, you called it right, Matt. It wasn't going to end up 1-0. So now we got a game, 1-1. One of my golden rules is you don't let a ball bounce, and you don't ever let a ball bounce in the box. And that ball bounced pretty darn close to bouncing right into the goal itself. So the bounce allowed the play to change and gave Dominic's a chance to get to it and get enough on it to put it into the goal. So game on, late goal in the first half. Always incentive for the team that gets it to keep going, man.
Well, and the goalkeeper had his hand above his eyes still to shade himself, but Webster Groves right back at it now. Nifty little play into the box. This one went out of play. The referee's got his flag up, and it will be a goal kick for Webster, or for St. Dominic here. Ball must have went over the line.
Boy, what a tight rope walk that was on the end line.
Boy, he was tippy-toeing his way through there, and you don't think of sometimes big physical players with the ability to do that, but good athleticism. I believe that was Smith coming in on the line.
He did a great job. It kept that play alive all the way to the end. Fortunately, there was nobody there to tap it in once he released it.
This one headed away by Smith right down in the middle of the field. Handball now, and so this one will go to Webster Groves. Smith out here on the near side. One-on-one with the defender. He's going to play it down here to the corner.
I think Dominic defenders got their hands up. They wanted it offside.
Apparently get it that time as they try to get the ball down here to the near side with a Mahalski, and he couldn't quite track it down, but now here's Smith out on the right side.
And he's been comfortable out there. He played a lot of the season on the right side this year, so he's pretty comfortable playing with it.
This one knocked out of play. Mahalski has it back to the goal. Defender was right on him, so coming forward now for the Webster Grove Statesman is Richards. He throws a short one to the side of the box. Back pass to Richards. He's going to lay it off in the corner. This is Smith. His line drive hits Mahalchuk, and it's going to go Mahalski, I should say.
Well, we're down to the final 2 minutes of the half. Let's see if it ends 1-0. 1-1 rather. Let's see if it ends 1-1. Or can somebody get a killer goal here at the end of the half?
Well, let's see if St. Dominic doesn't try and come out on here on this new near left side one more time, Coach, and utilize the sun to their advantage. Ball back towards midfield, or headed away nicely.
You got to think that factored into it because no one really made a play on that ball, and maybe they didn't see it very clearly.
Layoff on the far side into the box now. Dangerous for Webster Groves. They got 3 there. It's Givens. He goes down. Another player goes down. Still on his feet. This one blocked by the goalkeeper Witt, but they get the penalty kick, the corner kick. Smith is hollering about it. He wanted a handball and he wanted a takedown. He is not happy with the referee. He's letting his frustration show, and now the corner kick will come to this near side.
Nice job by Webster working that ball into that box patiently. They weren't in any hurry. They kept their cool, kept getting closer, and as they got closer, they got more dangerous. And at the very end, Dominic had to rise to the occasion to prevent the goal.
Cameron Oliver will stand over this one now. He lofts one. Backside of the box. Witt can't get on the end of it. Still scrambled for. It's punched all the way out about 20 yards from the goal. They're going to go right back to Oliver. He'll throw it into the box once again. Cross the ball. This one up over the top. Comes back across the box. St. Dominic trying to ride it out of play, and they do. Now we're under a minute remaining, and they try to draw a last-minute foul on that one. Last-ditch effort for a foul. Referee was right there and says, no, sir. And they'll have a little bit of a chuckle about that one before St. Dominic will take their time with 30 seconds remaining and take this goal kick.
A lot of pressure there applied by Webster. And, St. Dominic did a good job withstanding it, but boy, don't want to have to endure too much of that, because at some point that's just liable to be too much that you can handle.
This one back towards midfield. It's flicked on. 13 seconds remaining. Long ball now up over the top. This will ride into the goal box, and Witt will have it there. He's just going to hold on to it. 1-1 will be our scores. We go to halftime here in this Missouri State Boys Class 3 title match. We are not at 1 goal apiece. We hope you've enjoyed it thus far. We'll take a break, and on the other side of this one, we'll have that halftime shootout. So stay tuned. You are watching Missouri State Boys High School Soccer on the Misha.TV network. We'll be back after these messages with a 1-1 score.
You know, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. But in our book, we say you are what you repeatedly do when things get hard. When you look at the naysayers and the haters, and there's a million of them, but you take it upon yourself to erase all doubt. Get that doubt out of here. So my apologies to Aristotle. But excellence doesn't become a habit by running the same path over and over. The excellent ones just step up to the line and ask, what's the record? Under Armour, get your feet straight.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Olive Garden's Buy One, Take One is back.
But not for long.
Starting at $12.99. Join us tonight for your choice of irresistible entrees, like rich and creamy smoked mozzarella chicken bursting with Italian cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, plus unlimited garden salad and warm breadsticks. Then take home another entree free, like fettuccine Alfredo. It's 2 delicious nights of togetherness for one low price. Buy one, take one, starting at $12.99. Olive Garden, we're all family here. Now order Olive Garden to go online.
They're getting brief. One point for Mr. Steiniger. And the guy with the flag gets no point. One point for Mr. Steiniger. Mr. Kaufman is about ready. He gets a 2-pointer. Equal. It brings it to a tie. 2 points each. Dominic takes a measly kick right down the middle.
Halftime game 1. He's had a good day. Big day for me.
Here comes the guy. Takes his flag day.
Oh yeah. I'll let you go, and I'll call you later. Okay.
It's a 1-pointer.
It's 1-1 at halftime now. If there's no overtime, we'll be done by about 6:30.
Another 1-pointer.
Okay.
But it does give him the lead.
Bye.
Troutman leads this one. One will give him a tie. A corner shot will put him in the lead. 1 point gives him a total of 4. We are deadlocked. Nothing. He comes out with nothing. Down the middle. And we have a winner. We have a winner. Let's have a nice round of applause for these guinea pigs. Thank you so much.
Who won? Webster?
I don't know. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think it was, I'll look in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recognize two people for their sportsmanship. We have the winners of today's Show Me Good Sports Award. Because of their display of sportsmanship during the year, each of these have been awarded Misha t-shirts. And the winners are Kate Shipp and Chris Dreyer. Chris represents Webster and Kate represents St. Dominic. Congratulations to these two young people. You wanted to know, this is the score.
Finished or you one more?
No, I can quit.
You quit?
I'm Sean Green. I'm a very good friend of the Winkleman
Oh, yeah.
brothers over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're my nephews.
Last of the mix, I'm the sports director at this Webster Grove radio station.
What's that?
I'm the sports director at this Webster Grove radio station.
Oh, okay.
So last of the mix, because I knew they knew soccer. Hi, how are you?
Paul? He was here yesterday.
Where'd Julie go?
I don't know if she went. I don't know.
I think we got a full house.
Oh, it's a good crowd. This side's packed. You see those people standing there? Are those the people you want to move?
Awesome, thank you. Down there?
Yeah, at the end of the field.
No, they can stand there.
They can sit. How about over here?
I think it's right in front of here that
Yeah,
they're.
it's just right here in front.
Oh.
Give them to the game.
Yeah, when the game starts.
One of our science teachers was Mr. Brown, and he was a lot of fun, and we really had some bad jokes there.
I think sometimes it takes years before you really realize the impact that a teacher has on you.
Is it 1-1?
What's that?
Is it 1-1?
Yes, it is. Ken's game. As long as they don't get stupid.
Smart.
Here she is.
And Gardner, right, already gave you his card.
Yes.
He's also 25 years official. His wife is Jamie.
Olive Garden's Buy One, Take One is back.
But not for long.
Starting at $12.99. Join us tonight for your choice of irresistible entrees, like rich and creamy smoked mozzarella chicken bursting with Italian cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, plus unlimited garden salad and warm breadsticks. Then take home another entree free, like fettuccine Alfredo. It's 2 delicious nights of togetherness for one low price. Buy one, take one, starting at $12.99. Olive Garden, we're all family here. Now order Olive Garden to go online.
The most heart-stopping, game-changing, tie-turning moments in high school sports. Under Armour highlights of the week on the NFHS Network.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
And we are back here at the Worldwide Technology Stadium, the soccer park in Fenton, Missouri, for the Missouri State Boys Class 3 state title match here, 1-1 at half. Webster Groves opened the scoring with 13:57 remaining. Sheridan Smith gets his fourth goal of this Final Four, and then it was knotted at one apiece by the number 7 shirt, Connor Flynn, as he came forward and got the goal for St. Dominic to knot this one at 7. And now Webster Groves will have the ball to start this second half, moving from right to left here. And, Coach, what can we expect after each of these coaches have had a chance to do a little strategizing with their players?
Well, Webster, if you're Webster, you just tell them to keep it on, because the pressure that they built up the last part of the half was very, very positive and strong and close to a goal. For St. Dominic, it's like we got to defend better. We can't let them get in so deep and get those good chances, and we got to find a way to create our own chances. And again, I think all that really stems into midfield. Midfield becomes your first line of defense and your first option to attack. So there has to be, I think, a better plan for Dominic's to play through their midfield to kind of neutralize Webster's opportunities.
And let's see what happens with the sun, too. We mentioned that. It may have played a factor in that goal that St. Dominic got here just towards the end of the half, as it is coming over our right shoulder, if you will. That would be from left to right on your computer screen. That's from the from the right to left, the right side of your screen, really from your angle. So if you were sitting right where the camera's at and looking to your left, the sun would be in your eyes. You'll start to see the shadows creep across the field as we get further along into this match, as this one's boomed high and long towards the far side. St. Dominic will take it and try and get it up there. They do to to Faraday. He's knocked to the turf, but both student bodies now on their feet, and I can expect a raucous crowd as they want to pull that state championship trophy all the way back to their campus, Coach. And I expect the longer this game stays close at 1-1, 2-1, each of those student bodies to be on their feet.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm St. Dominic's, I want to come out in the early part of this half with the energy and take the game to Webster, because at the end of the half they run the back foot. So let's see if they can start on the front foot.
Here's a shot, this one up over the top as he tried to roundhouse it. Defender was right there, too, to divert the shot. So nice play on both sides, and that first chance of the half goes the way of St. Dominic, like you talked about, Coach. It didn't look like it was much as a high floating ball towards the box, but anytime you have that and you have a 50-50 ball, it can go either way. St. Dominic nearly got the opportunity and just unable to capitalize yet.
Okay, take a look at St. Dominic's backs. I saw they've already got their hands up over their eyes trying to shade the sun, so it's already being a factor. You can start seeing shadows on the field as well, so we got a whole half of dealing with that.
That one goes out of play on the far side, right over the top of the St. Dominic bench. They'll get possession, and now they'll try and build it on that far side. That was the side that Webster Groves attacked from, although their goal did come from the near side. Now they'll play it across the back here. Coming forward now, they'll send a defender forward, far side of the box, headed out of there, and now they're down one defender. Let's see if Webster Groves doesn't try to capitalize. They're just going to push this one up top.
Yeah.
Smith was a good 20 yards from that ball, and he knew the defender had quite a bit on him. He wasn't going to be able to track it down before Witt, the goalkeeper, could get it. Brendan Witt, the Goalkeeper.
I don't
here.
think Dominic's is going to have much success trying to beat Webster's backs in the air. There's just they got too much size and experience back there. You got to draw them out of position and keep the ball on the ground.
So look for through balls maybe and some diagonal type runs. This one deflects out of play on the far side.
Yeah, play it wide, spread them out, and then try and slot somewhere.
That's Andrews on the far side. This is a long throw down the sideline, flicked on. We'll get a foul now. It'll go the way of Webster Groves. And, Stoll and Faraday, the two front runners for St. Dominic, not a huge factor in that first half. Stoll did have one nice opportunity, maybe 5 minutes into the ball game. He shot it low to the left side of the goalkeeper. But other than that, they really did not play a huge part in what St. Dominic was doing in that first half, Coach.
No, not especially when you compare what Sheridan Smith was able to do in the first half. He was dangerous a number of times.
Stoll flicks this one on. Now they are going to play that through ball. Here's Trun. Right side of the box, defender coming now. He'll loft this one. It's deflected, and it goes into the hands of the goalkeeper, Sprick. Stoll wanted a corner kick, but Sprick made a nice play to save it from going out of play.
See, there was an opportunity there, and that's what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to play that ball wide.
So here's Sprick, top of his box now. Back towards midfield. First one goes to Givens. He's knocked off the ball, and now they'll go the other way. This through ball beyond everybody. Faraday will give it a cursory look and unable to track it down.
All right, let's see what Stoll can do here. Now they got him targeted. Let's see if we can get the ball wide. Well, going wide to Webster.
Yeah, I expect to see some plays here now as Givens will wait now. They're going to.
Let's see if Webster continues to play to their left side now, which would be right in front of us on our side, our near sideline, which they did just, the first half. They played predominantly that way.
Givens now will go a little bit further back. This is Hanrahan into the holes. He's got a man there. They try to thread it through to Smith, unable to do so. Here's Trun. Two Stoll. They try to 1-2. Good defense that time to step in and make the play was Kuhn. And here come the Statesmen once again. This is Oliver on the near side. Ball on his right foot. He'll loft it to the far side of the box. They got two players there. They've also got a defender there for St. Dominic. He heads it away, but not all the way out.
Well, you wonder where the goalie was there. I mean, it looked like the ball was in the 6-yard box and flighted and kind of hanging a little bit. And the defender had to make a tough play getting back on it.
Players mix it up a little bit as they both go to the turf. The ball will go to Webster Groves. Here they come. Right side of the box. They try to thread one through. Good defense by the Crusaders. They get it, but not all the way out. And here's Connolly. He's got a little bit of space. He'll play it down that far side.
St. Dominic's did a good job defending, and the players settled the ball and made it look like a nice pass, but went right to Webster. Got to do better than that when you get the ball and you're under control. Got to complete a pass.
Remind you now, today's game's also available for all subscribers via our mobile website. Log on to nfhsnetwork.com from your smartphone or tablet and view live games or replays from anywhere. Faraday tries to track that one down, but Webster Groves gets it out easily all the way past midfield near the St. Dominic bench on the far side. Crusaders controlling it briefly, but good pressure by the Statesmen. Now it'll go out of play. And
look at the space on this side, right around the center circle right now. That's where they need to start building up the game, in that center circle area.
It will actually be a free kick. The referee blew his whistle for the foul. Big crowd on hand here for this 48th annual Missouri State Boys High School Soccer Championship. Now, immediately following this one and the medal ceremony and the trophy ceremony, we will have the Missouri State Boys Class 4 title match. It will be the De Smet Spartans looking also for their 6th title, just like the St. Dominic squad taking on the Francis Howell Vikings. Francis Howell making their first appearance in the state championship game, and both of those teams very impressive yesterday.
Well, man, as this half winds down through its 40 minutes, we're going to see the stands starting to fill with the supporters from De Smet and Francis Howell starting to arrive. So by the end of this game, this place could be pretty close to full.
Free kick now for the Statesmen as they're about 15 to 20 yards from midfield. They'll take their time. Palauchek's going to stand over it. Now he's going to give way, and Richards will come over this way to Tilford. He's got a lot of space in front of him. They switch fields quickly, and now they'll go up the middle. This is Oliver, nifty little step over, and now he's going to go the other way as well. He's got a defender on him. flips it up off the top of Givens, goes out of play, and it'll go back over to St. Dominic. They quickly get it into play. This is Faraday. He had 2 goals yesterday in that win. 4-0 win for St. Dominic. Nobody there for the Statesman on that pass, and it goes right back to Trun. He'll try and beat one defender, can't do so. Hanrahan saves it from going out of play. He's got 2 players with him. He gets a little give and go down this near left side. Defender in front of him, 3 in the box now. Puts it on his right foot to the left foot, cuts it. Let's see if he can't get it across. Good defense that time by the Crusaders. They came across in numbers, and that's what you do. You support each other, but they do give up the corner kick on that one.
I was watching Sheridan Smith positioning himself off the ball that time. And very intelligent running and moving. He got himself in a great spot. He found a pocket of space. And had the ball found him, I think we might have been looking at another goal. So lucky for Dominic's that they were able to push it out for a corner.
Kuhn stands right at the 12-yard spot. Corner kick. This will be a right-footed kick. It'll swing in towards the goal. There it is. 6-yard box. Backside. Keeper Witt out. He knocks it down. Defense gets it out. Kuhn wanted a handball. He didn't get it. Now it's all the way down to the other end. Faraday now, full chasing, going to get it over the top of the goalkeeper, and here comes Sprick, and Sprick was right there, well off his line. Had to take about 2 steps, but dangerous for St. Dominic on the counterattack. They get a quick throw-in.
Well, and as I looked at the corner kick before in the goal, everybody in the goal was shading their eyes, so they were kind of semi-blinded by the sun. And it was a dangerous play. That ball was right in front of the goal.
Lukenhaus now will throw it in on this near side. Takes his time, looks things over. No one really moving for St. Dominic, so he'll throw it into the middle. It's a nice little run by Saddle. Get the ball off to his fellow defender, but Webster Groves intercepts. Now here comes the other way. This is Stoll. He wanted a handball, didn't get it. Referee was right there. Webster Groves breaks out the other way. Long down the line. Smith can't get on the end of it. It's knocked out of play into the St. Dominic bench, throwing for the Statesman. We are just about 9 minutes into this second half of action. Folks, if we stay knotted, we'll have extra time. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, both teams vying for goal number 2 into the corner. Out of play. Webster Groves throwing deep.
Well, we've got the Francis Howell team arriving as they're walking right by our position here.
And we see their goalkeeper, Hunt, the big 6'2 goalkeeper, and he used every bit of that frame last night, Coach, and he was a little shaken up towards the end of the game, but he seems to be walking okay, and I think awfully tough to keep any player unless they absolutely have to be out of the lineup. Bumps and bruises aren't going to keep him out.
Boy, the passing proficiency could really stand a boost of improvement here. Too many balls given away without being pressured.
Good run. This one up over the top. Flights long and hard past everyone, and Sprick booms this one back over midfield. Flicked on. They've got players lurking there at the top of the box. This one headed the other way by Stoll. Trun with a nifty little play, but he can't get on the end of it. That second ball for St. Dominic is evading them right now, Coach.
Second balls are always important.
Maybe eluding them would be the better.
And part of that's anticipation. You know, I mean, you've got to it's positioning and anticipation. You want to be near the ball.
Player goes down now. That's Givens. He draws the foul, though, and now a very dangerous position right in that sun. So let's see what the goalkeeper now, Witt, how he sorts his defense out.
Yeah, every time you're defending in this position right here, you've got the problem of the ball, the opponent, and the sun. So you've got a lot to consider.
Connolly will stand over this one. One defender in front of him. He'll loft this one towards the 6-yard box. It's flicked on, popped up in the air. Goalkeeper Witt off his line, and he grabs that one. And Witt is going to have the...
It seems that the pressure that each team applies is a little different because the pressure from Webster is in the goal area, and the pressure from Dominic's doesn't quite get that deep. They haven't been able to get their pressure that deep yet.
A couple of players do battle. That was Stoll for St. Dominic's in the middle of the park. He couldn't quite do much with it. It goes all the way over to the Webster Groves defense. They go up high to Smith. He flicks on the header. He doesn't have a fellow runner with him, and that will drift all the way into the box. St. Dominic will play it back out to feet now with 28.5 remaining, and they'll look to distribute. This is a long ball. Goes into the turf. They have a player over there, though, so turns out to be a good pass.
Webster's had really good attacking success by playing wide. And when they get it wide, they get it deep. And when they get it wide and deep, then they can work that end line and get the ball across. And that's where they've had their best chances so far.
Sprickle will handle the ball now, top of the box, inside 28 minutes remaining, 1-1 our score, and he'll boom this one well over half field. They try to get it on the bounce, and they do. They'll utilize that sun a little bit. Here's Smith, back to the goal, shields himself, flicks it into the box. Far side, Jordan up over the top. Andrews had the strike with his right foot, and he lifted it high up over the bar, but dangerous possession that time for Webster. And again, they utilized the bounce very similar to the way St. Dominic utilized the bounce on their long free kick earlier, Coach.
Right, but from a coaching point of view, defensively, you just cannot afford to let that ball bounce. It just does nothing but cause trouble.
So Witt will take this goal kick now. He'll take his time and look things over. Back four gets organized for St. Dominic, and here he comes. They got a sub into the match here. We'll get that number for you in just a second. Flicked on now. Powering through his Trun. He's going to the turf. Excuse me, that wasn't Trun that time. That was Stoll, and he's down in a heap, and I think he's a little bit shaken up that time, Coach. He took a nice boot across the shin, I believe.
Yeah. He's kind of feeling it a little bit, like he's hurting.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. And St. Dominic hollering for a card. They're not going to get that. Stoll is up. He's going to be very key to them if they want to get that second goal. Even if he's used as a decoy, Coach, he is so key to what they want to do offensively. 29 goals after the one yesterday on the season, and that's quite a lot. I think you made the point yesterday. Anybody in the St. Louis area that ever gets 29 goals is that's quite a season.
That's a good point to make. That he could be just as effective maybe as a decoy and open up for Faraday or Trun.
Here comes the free kick. They're going to target him on the far side of the box. It's flicked on, goes out of play, and
corner.
It will be it'll be a goal kick. I thought it was too. He pointed.
No, the referee's pointing
so he does give the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yeah.
First one unofficially of this half. In fact, I think that's the first one I have for them on the match, Coach.
I believe you're right.
6 to the box. St. Dominic now. Short kick, top of the 6. They get it out of there, does the defense. It's popped right back up in the air. That was Weston. His pass not probably quite what he wanted it to be. Physical contact on that far side, and the throw-in goes to the Statesman. Oh, we're going to get a foul. We are going to get a foul. We're going to get a push-off foul, and probably didn't need to do that before it went out of play. But
yeah, those are kind of tough calls for coaches to accept. Like, what's the reason for the foul? Look where the ball is. Is there any reason or any threat?
Actually,
so now you give them, it's a throw-in.
They give him a throw-in. Okay, they didn't give the foul, but I thought that was clearly off the St. Dominic player. Nonetheless, here comes Smith, one-on-one with the defender. Weston waits for some numbers forward. Nice hold that time by Smith. He's still waiting. Now he'll launch one into the middle behind the defenders who were back running the other way. They get it back up to midfield. Stoll gets knocked down. We may get our first yellow card on this one. Nope. Didn't quite get it, just physical contact. Stoll pops right back up. But he did want a card. He thought he was going to get it. Nonetheless, dangerous position for St. Dominic, and this is not too different than where they had that free kick in the first half that resulted in the goal, Coach. The real big difference, however, is they don't have the sun to their advantage.
Well, what was interesting on that last play, and the foul was against Caleb Keene, is that he tracked Stoll all the way back to the ball. So he can't be in two places at once. So that means that he left the defensive spot to stay with the man. So you play a little up back through and see if you can't get the ball back into that space that he just vacated.
Counterattack now. Here comes Smith. Smith will front run on the far side. Good defense. He'll just knock it out of the play. Coming across that time was Weston from his central defensive position. And he played it poised. He knew what he had in front of him, and he beat him to the ball and just played it out to relieve the pressure. But a good counterattack opportunity for Webster Groves. Now here comes St. Dominic. They're looking for Stoll up top. Here's Faraday. He gets tackled. Nice tackle that time by Tilford on the near side. He just stripped him of the ball that time, Coach, and took his lunch money, as they used to say on the playground. And did it cleanly, and that's what you like to see. There's a little 1-2 on the far side. Into the box now. Back to the middle. Here's a shot. This is a goal. Oh, Webster Groves. It's Smith once again, and boy, oh boy, he's got 5 on these Final Four championships. 23:40 remaining, and he unlocks the 1-1 score. It's now 2-1.
And that goal started with a St. Dominic possession and a turnover and a quick, well-executed counterattack. that involved about 3 or 4 quick passes, found the right guy in the right spot, and he did the right thing with it and gave his team the lead again. But again, as I mentioned earlier, passing accuracy. You know, Dominic's had the possession of the ball, unpressured, made a pass to a white shirt and ended up in a goal for a white.
Yeah, it was a good run by Jordan Andrews down that far right side to draw the defenders out, just enough to keep them away from Smith, and he made no mistake about it. His 5th goal here in the Final Four, and now St. Dominic, they're going to have to throw it at the Webster Grove Statesmen. Not going to be awfully tough, Coach. You talked about it before the game, during the first half, and at halftime. That back four is pretty tough for them, and it was a Sun-aided goal in that first half. They're going to be tough to unlock. St. Dominic's going to have to really try and build something up, maybe get something off a restart.
Well, and the other thing is, doesn't look like Sheridan Smith's finished yet. He's still running, and he gets the ball one against the whole backfield, and he's still running with it. He's not shy to go against the numbers.
A lot of room out here momentarily, but once Hollingshead brought it down, he was closed by 2 defenders. Nearly wins it back. It'll go over the sideline. Hanrahan will take the throw in now, and he's going to wait, let Tilford come forward, and he'll take it as well. 2-1 our score now.
All the boys are shading their eyes in the backfield for Dominic, so that sun continues to be more and more of a factor.
Right back to Webster Groves here, and Tilford will throw it once again. Down the sideline as he tries to get it to Givens, flicks it up. Knocked away by the defense. Here comes St. Dominic now. Let's see if they can't build something. They switch fields quickly. Yeah, they need to see if they can't get Stoll. He's not been a huge factor here in this one. He set a couple of plays, a couple of touches in the middle of the park, Coach, but he's so far away from goal he can't do much there.
You know, he's got his hands on his knees right now. He looks like he's kind of favoring his right side. He's not healthy. He's not 100%.
Midfield now. Crusaders bring it down, and they'll play it back, and now up. Webster Groves is right there.
Awful lot of kicking just to kick, and you know, you don't establish much of a rhythm or possession when you just kick.
The Webster Groves plays it out of a tight space neatly, and now they'll go up long. Here's Smith once again, front running with the defender on that far side. That's Weston. Smith gets to the ball before the end line, side of the box. He's got Andrews lurking now. He had no numbers forward, though, and St. Dominic had 6 players in the box, Coach, so nice play by him. They'll play some possession. Now into the box. Here's Andrews. He's offside, though.
That was a great decision by Sheridan Smith there to get some deep penetration and see if he could work for more, see if he could beat the guy. Once he realized he was kind of neutralized, you know, he didn't panic. He kept the ball under control, played it back to a teammate, kept possession, and they built up again from there.
Goal kick now for Witt as we wind inside, 21 minutes remaining. Just about halfway through the second half, and Webster Groves on top in this one.
Dominic's going to have to make some adjustment here because they're just not getting anything going forward. They need a goal to get back in the game, and they really haven't created any opportunities for that.
Webster Groves, they can play ball possession too. We saw them do it last year, and they've continued to do it throughout this season. They did it yesterday as well.
I like Henry in here. He made a pass, asked for it back, got it back, and worked in a give and go.
Here's Faraday now. 3 defenders on him. He gets past 2, can't get past the third. He does draw the foul, however. Oliver can't believe it. He didn't think he touched him. So it'll be a free kick near midfield for St. Dominic.
Let's see what they can do with this. Their goal came off of a free kick, so let's see if they can generate a little activity here.
They're going to throw some numbers forward there, 4 to the opposite side of the box. They'll leave 1 hang out here on this near side. That's Hollingshead. They go to the opposite side. They try to flick it on. Good defense by Webster Groves. They stay well organized. Hennessy tracks it down. He wants to move forward now. This is popped up into the box. Flicked into the middle. Here's an opportunity now, and good defense that time. Palauchek got it out of there all the way to Givens on this near side to relieve the pressure now. But St. Dominic wants to attack once again. That was a dangerous opportunity, maybe one of their better ones, but good defense and good organization by the Statesman's back line.
They were close. They were, you know, Stoll looked like about a step off of that, but if he'd have gotten to it, it could have been really trouble.
This one flicked out of there for a moment. Stoll to Faraday. They work well together. There's a back to Stoll. He's in on goal. He'll tuck that one away. Stoll will get it with 19:16 remaining. Boy, oh boy, that was pretty, Coach. You don't get much better than that, and that's just 2 players who've played together a lot. It only takes one chance, and that's really the only one they've had the entire ball game, and we are locked at 2 apiece.
Knotted at 2. I think you called that earlier in the broadcast, Matt, about the combination of Stoll and Faraday. And that was 100% determination on Stoll's part. Once he gave it off, you knew by his determined run, he wanted it back. And when he got it back, the only thing that was going to stop it was a penalty kick, because he was determined that he was going to score.
Yeah, that was a nice run and a good heel pass. Just two players that know where each other are going to go.
Great response too. I mean, within a matter of blink of an eye or whatever, they knotted the game back up again. So
very, very pretty.
All to play for.
Stoll from Faraday, and there you don't get any better combination than that. That's the way that they do it for St. Dominic. You look at the season totals for each of those two. Faraday has 20 goals after 2 yesterday. He chipped in 7 assists.
And, if you're Webster, it's like, man, we just keep coming at him. They come down once or twice and get a goal.
Well, we've seen that happen in these state titles year in and year out, the teams that can get those chances. Now here they are. Hollingshead on the near side. A little bit of space. Is he going to launch one towards goal? He does, up over the top, but that was Stoll being effective again, and Stoll a little bit upset. I think he's shaking up still, Coach, and it's his ankle, it looks like. He took that chop around midfield earlier on that shin bone, and that's where he's clutching right now. And every time he's got to stop and start again, the adrenaline flows and then it stops. It flows and it stops. And
well, I think the goal that he got will keep him in it. That'll take a little bit of sting out of that knock for a while, and a chance to get another goal and win the game would take a lot of it out. So that's where they're at right now. There's games on the line.
Oliver out here to Givens now near left side. He'll put the ball on his left foot. Now to his right foot, tries to beat the defender, can't do so. Hennessy comes sliding across. Nice play by him. So the goal comes from Stoll, and it was assisted by Faraday. So
we're getting our big-time players showing up, right? We got Sheridan Smith 2 goals, and we got Stoll and Faraday combining on this one right here. And the game's not over yet.
No, it's not, and they're still going at it here. Webster Groves with a shot, and this one goes up over the top of the bar.
So we got 17 minutes and change to play. Try to avoid overtime, and what might be beyond that is the dreaded PKs. So see if somebody can win this in regulation.
Whittle had the goal kick now, and we had an opportunity at halftime to talk to a number of the other folks observing the game as well, including some of your old players, Coach, and now they're helping out with the law enforcement duties out here at Worldwide Technology Stadium. But they all said in accord, it's not going to be a 1-0 game or a 1-1 game or whatever. It's going to take several goals, and now we know it's going to be at least 3 to win it.
Right, and those guys get a lot of duty. I was talking to them. They get a lot of duty down here. They watch the STLFC and watch some of the high school tournaments. So, and they're soccer players, so they're savvy. They know how a game shapes up and what to expect.
Good play by Andrews on the far side. He continues to battle for it, finally wins it now. Can't get it past the defenders, weaves his way out, though. Nifty play by him, and you had an opportunity to talk to his father prior to the game, Coach. He popped into the booth to say hello, another one of your longtime friends, and he said his son was a little shaken up yesterday, but he was ready to go, and he showed it there.
Yeah, he's got a big job. He's got to try to battle in that midfield against the veteran players of Conley and Henry, and so he's done well. He's neutralized as much of the game for them as he can. And right now the game's level, so still all to play for. Somebody's going to have to step up and make a big play here.
And here may be the opportunity now as Palauchuk's going to come forward. He'll stand over this one on the far side. Let's see who else is going to stand over it. As they'll send Kuhn here to the near side of the box. He's got 4 others with him. Palauchuk's going to walk in there as well.
Well, you got to put a body on him and make sure that you can't have a free run and a free header.
Look who's back in the box to guard him, the number 19 shirt, Stoll. And he's the one who heads it out of there, hits off the hand of the Webster Groves player. So Stoll comes back to defend, and he makes the play.
That was a dropping ball all the way in. It was not going to really be any kind of a ball that you could put a head on and be dangerous with, because it was dropping as every foot it was going forward, it was dropping.
This one boomed out of there by Witt back towards midfield. It's headed away. This is Smith back to the goal, defender on his hip. And we're going to get a foul. Fans wanted a card on that one, but the referee doing a nice job just keeping everything going out there. That's Tim Walsh. Assistant referees again are Ken Barkowski and Bill Scott, and the alternate official is Todd Panula. So he does a nice job, and that's what you got to do. You know, just because there's a hard foul doesn't mean it needs to be a card, but he kept it. He kept things in order out there, Coach, and sometimes referees can lose the control with plays like that.
Tim is a veteran, experienced referee. He's done his fair share of high-level games, and he's a former player and played University of Indiana. So he knows the game as a player, and he knows it as an official.
Battle for the ball here, high up in the air. We'll get a foul, and now we're getting a little action after the play, but it'll be a free kick for St. Dominic, and they'll restart here on this near side near midfield.
It's in a pretty good position if he can get some elevation on the ball, or if he decides to keep it in the team and find a pass. You know, it looks like he's going to launch one into a mixer. And again, the Webster defense is a pretty stout bunch.
This one, top of the box. Not out. Here's Hennessy. His ball goes wide. Didn't quite have that measured in the position that he wanted to.
That's kind of about the same spot where we saw DeSmet strike yesterday and score on that rebound that came out. That's a tough goal. That's why that goal yesterday for DeSmet was so special, because that's a hard shot to take and make.
Goal kick now is Sprickle stand over it. We get a substitution into the match. There's been Cashel in, it looks like. Back towards. Here's Stoll back to the goal. He gets possession now. A little bit of confusion. They'll push it forward. Possession goes over to Webster Groves. They're going to launch this one and see if Cashel, who's got some fresh legs, gets back in, but he's going to be called for offside.
Fresh legs right now with 13 minutes to go might be a difference. Might just be a difference.
You know, Cashel's good size. He goes 6'1", 3 goals on the season, and he can get in there and stir it up. He can also control the ball. We saw him do it yesterday with his feet. He can retain possession. This one high, long, towards the top of the box. Header goes awry and out of play. Kuhn went high over the top of Faraday to get that one, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Dominic near that Webster Groves bench. They want to go to the line.
Well, when you say Kuhn goes high, that ball must be really high, because he's high without going high. he stands tall.
Jay Blossom probably hoping he'll come out for the basketball team after the way he's jumped here over at Webster Groves. This one back towards midfield, and no one gets on the end of it yet. Givens lets it ride, goes over the top, takes a favorable bounce. Hennessy just boots it back up the near sideline and holds up. No one on the end of it, finally brought down. That's Stoll coming back to get it. He gets chopped in the leg again. He's right on that hobbled leg.
That's nice stuff. Play it through that midfield. A couple passes across, get it
Here
wide.
they come now, a little bit of room. They're going to go, nifty little play, Palauchek. Very athletic that time, but he just got his toe on it.
Boy, if he would have looked the other side, Connor Flynn was over here. Number 7 was on the right wing, and he had space. Boy, diagonal ball would have broken.
Here they come now. Here's Faraday, the ball he wanted just a moment ago. So can he get to the end line? He does, to the touch line. Back across, Stoll lurking. 2 defenders there as well, though. They're just going to clear it out of there, but that was a little burst of speed by Faraday. He was effective coming to the top of the box earlier to get the layoff pass and the assist. That time he tried to run past the defender.
Right. At the end of his run, he needed to just take a breath and take a look, because he had a man in a good position, but he played it too much in the rhythm of the run instead of making it in the rhythm of the pass.
Hollingshead had the ball knocked off his foot. He wanted a foul, didn't get it. It's popped up in the air. Givens here, one-on-one. It's flicked forward. This is Stoll, right side of the box. Nifty little move by him. He'll heel it into the box. Still battling for the ball. Webster Groves breaks out of it from there. Nifty little run here now. This is Hanrahan showing his skill and quality down this near left side. Defense gets back, but he's still got it into the box. Headlong. Hennessy comes across. He knocks it away, and good play by him just to get it out of the danger, but a nice long run, 70 yards. That time by Hanrahan, and that's something we saw him do a number of times yesterday, was move forward with the ball, Coach. That's the first time we've really seen him get fully into the attack.
Yeah, well, it was a good job by the defense to keep it on his left foot, keep it away from the goal.
Offsides by Webster Groves. That's an unofficial second one of the half now. So this will go by the wayside, this offensive attack, and the St. Dominic Crusader defense will have an opportunity to easily get it out of there. 2-2 our score now. We've got just about 10 minutes remaining here in this match, and it's about that time, Coach. I guess we got to start letting our viewers know that if this one does end in a tie at the end of regulation, we will go into an overtime period, a 15-minute overtime period. Should someone score, they win. Still knotted after that. We go to a second 15-minute overtime, and we will for sure have a result by then, won't we, Coach? So we won't have to go to penalty kicks, but it just should that happen, that's what we'll see, just like we did last week in one of the semifinal matches.
That's the procedure, all the way out through penalty kicks as far as you need to go to get a winner.
Givens now, ball on his foot, runs away from the defenders. Now makes a nifty little move back to the middle. He's got some space, lays it off. They threaded it through there that time. It went beyond Oliver, and here comes St. Dominic out the far side. Good defense stepping forward that time and making a nice play. It was Tilford as he switched sides as Binder came back into the ball game on this near side. This one saved from going out behind Binder. And he'll go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Sprick. His boot back over midfield. Cashel can't get on the end of it. It's headed forward. Binder uses his body to block. Hollingshead out of the way. Substitution now in for Webster Groves.
Let's see if Webster has a memory of how they finished the first half. They were on the front foot finishing that first half. They were awfully dangerous. Let's see if St. Dominic's, how they want to finish this off. 8 minutes to play and all to play for. I would think at this point, next goal, I think we're probably in sudden death right now. Next goal is probably going to win it.
8.5 remaining now. Tilford will come over this side. He'll switch sides once again and take the throw in. A couple players battle for it, finally comes away. This is Hanrahan. Gets it to Smith, his back to the goal. Excuse me, that was Cashel, his back to the goal. Now they give it off to Givens. Givens now weaves his way towards the top of the box. Lays it off. Still battling for the ball, and a couple of players with some contact. Oh, and this is about as dangerous of a position as you can get if you're the Webster Grove Statesman. 30, 35 yards from the goal here, Coach, and this is right in that sunlight. So let's see who's going to stand over the ball. Coming back is Hanrahan. Stoll's going to front the ball, at least for the moment. I think he's going to go back. He knows where the big man's going to go, and he's going to front Kuhn. That's exactly what he does.
Coming from the shade into the sun, the goalie's already got his hands up to shade himself.
This one lofted far side of the box, 6 yard. They got two players there, and went just over the top of Polacek's head. Out of play, and that will result in a goal kick now with 7.5 remaining. And, boy, this place is really filling up, Coach. DeSmet, Francis Howell. We're getting ready for a real good one in that Class 4 state title match, but we've got a real good one on tap right now.
Just wondering here, you see the goalie shading his eyes, and they got a free kick on a good spot, and the ball goes wide of the goal, away from the sun, away from the goalie. No threat at all. I mean, put it right in the goalie's face. He's already shielding from the sun. Make him make a play.
This one over the top of everybody. Tilford will come forward and head it back towards midfield. Here come the Statesmen once again on the attack. They got three players on the right side. Good defense that time. Hennessy stepped up. He wants it. They're going to loft it long on the overlapping run down the sideline. He's still running headlong towards the defender. Polacek plays it back to Sprick, and Hennessy well out of position, so he's going to make his way back defensively. He's not even going to chase that ball. And he ran 80 yards on that last play. He's caught out now. Here comes Webster Groves. Far side, Andrews pulls down the defender, and that will result in a free kick.
Coming up on 6 minutes to go now. Every moment makes a difference, And I think you want to keep the ball in play as much as you can right now.
So after this foul, St. Dominic will get a chance to restart it.
It looks like by everybody's posture, he's just going to throw it up for grabs. I don't see anybody making themselves available for a possession.
Target one man up high to get it that time. It was Oliver. It goes out of play on that far side as we approach 5:45 remaining. This one kept in. St. Dominic dangerous now. Stoll flicks it up over his head. He gets it right back into the middle. Can anybody get on of it for St. Dominic? Nope. Webster Groves gets it out of there. Now let's see if they can't counterattack. Here's Smith. Tries to bring it down. Good defense that time on this near side by Lukenhaus. His pass goes awry, but nonetheless, he did keep it away from the very dangerous Smith. Deflection and this throw.
The last 10, 12 minutes, I guess, been a lot more of St. Dominic than it had been previously. So it looks like they want to try and close this this regulation time out on the front foot and try and find a goal.
Smith now tries to get on the end of this one before he gets to the touchline. He does. He saves it. Tries to beat the defender. Good play once again by Lukenhaus. He just booms it back towards midfield. Nobody on the end of it again. Here's Stoll. He wants to bring the ball down. Good defense by Palauchek. He stepped right in front of him that time, coach, and was able to take it away and get it to Oliver. And Oliver's going to go all the way over to the other side. They're going to reload and take their time.
Now they're working the ball through the midfield a little bit. What's the next ball going to go?
He tried to go right back up the middle. Couldn't quite get it through to Conley, and comes all the way back to Richards. He'll play it forward. This is deflected. A little bit of speed up top now, but Kuhn never steadies. He's going to knock that one out of there over the far side, but it's saved from going out. It took a straight bounce. It did not go over the end. Here's Faraday, top, puts it on his left foot. He wants to take a crack and a go. It'll go wide, but he measured that one all the way, coach. Just maybe a little off step, and the defender had something to say about that one as well as he stepped in just at the last moment, but Faraday dangerous from that position.
Well, you put that in on the ground, and maybe somebody gets a last-second tip on it. You know, it gets deflected. You just never know. But you've got to take the shot to find out. So his shot ended up being harmless, but good intention.
Long ball back towards midfield off the boot of Sprick. Headed back in. This is Palauchek on the far side. He's going to knock it out of there over the sideline for a throw-in.
Well, you wonder right now. It looks like it's all St. Dominic driven right now. It's like the Webster team is kind of on their back foot, kind of on their heels. Webster and Dominic's is going forward. They're going after him right now. They're going to try and win this game in these last 3 minutes.
Crusaders now can't quite get possession. Here come the Statesmen. Nifty little move. Jordan Andrews will lay it off. Still on the run. Statesmen attacking. Here's their dangerous Smith. He's got both goals thus far. One-on-one with the defender. Tries to work his way to the side of the box. Pushes it through. It deflects, and the goalkeeper's off his line. Good defense by the Crusaders. Good run by Smith.
The Sheridan Smith have hat tricks back-to-back in him. He's got 2 goals today and 3 yesterday. That would be a pretty incredible accomplishment, too, in the final 2 games of his high school career.
Long one up there to Faraday, and he's unable to get on the end of it. Statesmen now get the throw-in right in front of their own bench and the student body. A lot of orange on that far side, a lot of orange on this near side, just across. A lot of light blue and navy blue in the crowd here as well. So this one will drift long. Andrews trying to use this speed to track it down and back up the line, and they win the throw-in. So Andrews does his job. He didn't track the ball down, coach, but he wins the throw-in now in a very dangerous position for them if they can get possession. They retain possession. Here come the Statesmen into the box. There's a little give and go. Through and on space. The ball goes down and slides out. It'll be a corner kick on that far side. Good defense by St. Dominic on that far side to come back in numbers, but very dangerous for the Statesmen of Webster Groves.
Just under 2 minutes to go, and Webster's getting back into getting their opportunities. Here we are with the corner kick. And you know Webster's going to be awfully dangerous with their height on a corner kick. So
all players back for the Crusaders now as Faraday even stands at the top of the box. You see him right there at the bottom of your screen. Seven into the box. Here it comes. Low liner over the top of the bar. Keeper was there to cover it that time. Witt was all over it. And that one goes by the wayside for the Statesmen of Webster Groves.
Yeah, that could have been a good chance here in the last 2 minutes. Down to a minute and change right now. They may not get that chance back.
So here comes the goal kick now. Looks like either one last opportunity for Webster Groves on an intercept or an attack for the Crusaders. Well, they gave it to the wrong guy, that's for sure, because that's Smith. Smith with the ball at his feet, puts it in the middle, tries to get it back from Conley, can't do so, but here's Oliver, still with the ball. Webster Groves on the attack. Oliver. He's got Connolly just to his left. They get it into the box. This is Andrews. Nifty little spin turn for him. He'll throw it in from where he's at. Far side, into the back of the goal. Into the back of the goal. It's Givens. That might be a state championship winning goal for Givens as he heads it past the goalkeeper with 39 seconds remaining. Can you believe it, Coach? As Givens finishes it with just over a half a minute left on the clock.
Wow. I made the comment earlier, you know, that Webster finished the first half in a flurry. What was the second half going to be like for him? Well, they outdid their first half finish because they got a goal. And that could be, as you well said, Matt, that could be the deciding factor. That could be the sudden death goal.
What a goal by Givens. He waited patiently, pushes it past the goalkeeper with 39 seconds remaining on the clock, and that was all done. Nifty little work on the far side. Oliver kept possession, and gave it off. A good run by Andrews to get the cross off, and the 1-2 punch finishes it. Now here comes St. Dominic. Faraday tries to weave his way through. It's just kicked long out of there.
30 seconds to go. 30 seconds.
This one up over the top. Defense there, heads it away. Webster Grove sensing state title number 2 in school history and a back-to-back state title. In a first ever back-to-back public school state title if they're able to hold on.
What a high drama game, boy. That was a great game, back and forth. Here we go, countdown.
That'll do it, folks. One last throw-in for the Statesmen of Webster Groves. The state championship winning Webster Grove Statesmen, the back-to-back title holders. And they're going to travel just 5 miles down Highway 44 to take that trophy back to campus. Congratulations to the Statesmen on a tremendous goal with 39 seconds remaining. The number 7 shirt, Antoine Givens, the senior, his 7th goal of the year, and it's a state title winning goal, and all the drama leads to the trophy. And Coach, final thoughts as we get ready to sign off on this one and get ready for another great match.
You couldn't draw it up any better, could you, in terms of the drama that was built up in the game. The game lived up to its hype and its expectation, and wow, what a game. One of those kind of games where it's too bad there had to be a loser. Huh?
Heartbreaking ending for St. Dominic, who played oh so well. You had mentioned coming into the ballgame, Coach, that they had lost 10 games, and usually you don't have a team losing 10 games, but they play such a tough schedule. It's not unrealistic that they would get here, but they're unable to get that 18th win. But Webster Groves, they do get their 25th win, 25-5-2. They'll finish the season. And Tim Cashel, congratulations to him and the Webster Grove Statesmen for winning back-to-back Class 3 state titles, the second one coming this year in 2015 in the 48th Annual Misha Boys Soccer Championships. For our cameraman, Joe Cochran, and my partner, the legendary Coach Terry Mickler, I'm Matt Judkins signing off. I've got to take a rest before we get ready to do the Class 4 Championship. Until then, so long.